So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to become the greatest in the world at something, at whatever it is that your craft is. How does one become greatest in the world? We're going to give you the actual solution. There's actually a term and a process that you can follow. We're going to break that down in today's episode. And we're also going to show how this has worked for several people and give you case studies around that. And by the time you get to the end, we're going to leave you with a king move that you can apply to your life and business. Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa. Entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation.
All right. So Justin, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about another cool Japanese term. This one is Kodawari, and it's a term that refers to a deep commitment to meticulous attention to detail. It's about perfection of one's craft, continuous improvement, and never settling for the idea that perfection is ever complete. I heard about this term from the book Unreasonable Hospitality, which I read for a client who I did an AI workshop for recently. And so Unreasonable Hospitality is about a restaurant in New York that went from being number 50 on the list of top restaurants in the world to number 1. It's called 11 Madison Park. And they went from being a 1-star Michelin restaurant to a 3-star Michelin restaurant. And they documented everything they did, all of the struggles, the ups and downs, the changes that they made to achieve the pinnacle of hospitality in the restaurant business. And we can apply some of these same principles of unreasonable hospitality to any business, because the workshop that I went to do this for, they are a B2B marketing agency that and their clients are logistics and freight companies. So they couldn't be more different from a B2C restaurant, right? But they've applied these principles, and then we layered in AI and automation, because you take the whole idea is designing these remarkable experiences and perfecting your craft. But then how can you systematize that so that it can be replicated over and over again? So this concept of Kodawari came up, and there's a famous restaurateur named Jiro. He's in Japan. And Jiro, he is a famous sushi restaurant. He's been doing sushi for 75 years, well into his 90s. And he says, I do the same thing every day, improving it bit by bit. All I want to do is make better sushi. There is always a yearning to achieve more. And I find that so fascinating, because I want to do a million different things. But I always find people who just dive in and focus on and commit their life to perfecting one thing, the never ending pursuit of that. And there's something special about that. But, there are definitely different schools of thought on this. So I want to hear your thought on it and how you apply it to business and life.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't heard of it when you sent it through to me. And as you say, it's another cool Japanese term. There are so many of them. So many of them. And yeah, I've seen a couple of descriptions of it or ways to look at it. And some people translate it to an attempt to arrive at perfection, which I thought was interesting. Have thoughts on how healthy or not healthy that is. If we are always attempting to arrive at perfection, because can we ever arrive there? That would be a question. And then the essence of it is described in other articles that I've read, of just continuously striving to improve even when others might settle for less. So it's the idea to constantly improve, better than yesterday. That I like. I like the idea of continuously striving to improve and better than yesterday, rather than thinking about arriving at perfection, because that can be debilitating. And I think anybody that strives continuously to arrive at perfection, and I'm going to use this word loosely, there's not going to be much balance in their life. It's going to be at the detriment of something else, at the cost of something else. And that's, everybody gets to choose that. That is absolutely everybody's choice on what they want that to be. But yeah, it would be interesting to know what one has to give up, or or who, that's the other side of it, what one has to give up, or who is impacted in my pursuit of being perfect at one particular thing. Because man, that's a big commitment to make and a big thing to tackle.
That's a huge commitment. And I guess the benefits of it are you achieve this recognition, celebrity, if you will, whether it's for you or for your brand. But I remember now I had forgotten about this, but I watched the movie. It's called Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I think it's on Netflix or one of the streaming stations. But it's a documentary about this guy's life in his restaurant. And like only 12 people can fit in this little restaurant. It's 3 Michelin stars. But to achieve that level of greatness in your craft, in your industry, you got to have intense dedication. Look at someone like, when it comes to acting, someone like Will Smith. He talks about it in his book, like his relentless dedication. He had a goal to become the biggest movie star in the world and focused on nothing else but that thing. In Unreasonable Hospitality, they had a goal of becoming the #1 restaurant in the world, of becoming a 3-star Michelin restaurant. And they achieved that thing. They focused on nothing else. So yeah, if you are that laser focused and dedicated to the pursuit of perfection, that's not balance. Some things will fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
Your family, your friends, your friendships, your relationships may suffer. Your health may suffer at times. But are you prepared to give that up for greatness? And does one really have to give that up for greatness? I guess is also the question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what often happens is people love the idea of being amazing at something, being the greatest at something, having the best restaurant in the world. They love that idea. As soon as you tell them what work goes into it, what sacrifice has to come, then they don't love the idea so much anymore. So it's easy, and I'll point a finger at myself. It's easy to sit and judge people who choose to be great at something and the sacrifice and maybe some of the relationships that decision impacts. But man, imagine the world without those people, because they push all of us. They show us what is possible and they inspire all of us. So I'll give a great example. I'm a huge fan of a guy by the name of Cameron Haynes. So he's an American, and he is a professional bow hunter. And his purpose, and when I think about Kodawari, Kodawari is the dedication to your craftsmanship and uncompromising pursuit of perfection in what you do. And he says it unapologetically, like he has been obsessed with bow hunting since I think his late teens, and all he wanted to be was the best. He said that's the reason he's put on earth, is to be the best bow hunter he could possibly be. And every decision he makes every single day is to be a better bow hunter. And Ethan, he runs a marathon every single day, and he has pretty much for the last 20 to 30 years of his life, somewhere around that. He is fanatical, runs every single day. And when I say every single day, if it's raining, he's sick, if he's injured, he's been running at the moment with a fractured foot. So it's to the extreme, and he does it unapologetically. He shoots his bow every single day, and he lifts. He gets into the gym every single day while working a full-time job, which he did for 20 odd years before transitioning into now being a pro and creating content and all. And
wait a minute. Wait, you're saying bow hunting, like he's shooting a bow and arrow, hunting animals.
Hunting animals.
And he runs with a full-time job. He ran a marathon every single day and worked out.
That's his training. So the bow hunting season is a short period. I think it's in September or something. It's a short period. And he would then train year round to be in peak physical condition for that period when he could go out hunting. And uncompromising. Running every day, lifting every day, shooting his bow every day, and going to work every single day. So he would often run before work, run during his lunch break. And he raised a family, and he's got 2 kids, and he's got a wife. And he's the first one to admit that probably at times those relationships suffered, but it was because the decision that he made, that he wanted to be the absolute best bow hunter that he could possibly be, and that was his purpose, and he's unapologetic about it. So it's interesting for me because I'm a big fan, but at the same time I judge him for it. So you know what I mean? It's this weird place to be in, like huge fan, and he inspires so many people to train harder, do more, push themselves, understand and believe that you're capable of more. But it comes at a cost. So I love Kodawari, but immediately that was a thing that came up to me. I was like, oh man, double-edged sword. We need these people, but there's another side to it.
But wow. Well, first of all, I had never heard of this guy, Cameron Haynes, and wow, I'm impressed. And the fact that he is able to do that or was able to do that and have a full-time job, if you're listening to this, there are no excuses. You can't say your job is an excuse that's keeping you from starting your business or whatever it is you want to do. If this dude can run a marathon every day, train, do bow hunting, become the greatest bow hunter in the world, you can do whatever you set your mind to, and nothing can stop you from doing that. So first of all, that motivated me. So thank you for sharing that. So whatever excuses I give, I just have to toss them out of the window because it's complete bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But another thing it makes me think of is Alex Hormozi. He's coming out with a new book.
Yeah.
And one thing I admire about Alex is he lives this, because he often talks about how he will rewrite his book. He rewrote his first book 17 times before he got to the final draft. And he would analyze each chapter, rewrite it. For the pitch for his next book, he practices it 3 times a day. So by the time it comes, it's a speech. So by the time he's getting ready to do his speech, his presentation, he's done it over 100 times already and refined it. So that inspired me. My speaking tour for this fall is about to kick off in a few weeks. I'm like, you know what? I need to dedicate more time to actually rehearsing and practicing the delivery and really fine tuning every aspect of my talks. I mean, they're already good, but it could be great. It could be excellent. To get to top of the pack, to get to that level of world recognition, household name recognition, that's the type of dedication that one needs to put into it. And when it comes to the idea of balance, and you already know I don't believe in balance, I believe you can have it all, but you have to shift and calibrate. I talk about in my TED Talk, constant contextual calibration. Well, so at this time, you have to adjust. When you're focusing on perfecting something, I believe in doing it in sprints. So if you have a book launch coming out or a talk coming up, and if that's your chosen realm of where you want to apply Kodawari, this is me personally, I believe, and I'm going to take the approach of applying Kodawari in sprints. So not my whole life where I ignore everything else and just focus on one thing, but I could do it for a week or two or a month or a short amount of time, and then come back to the rest of my life so that everything else doesn't fall apart. And you can get a lot done when you laser focus on something and practice, and refine and constantly improve it for that concentrated amount of time. So that's the approach I'm going to take. That's my king move. What's yours?
Of that, I think I'm going to simplify the king move, and it's going to be linked to yours. And you spoke about being laser focused, choosing what it is that you're wanting to do, how you're going to practice to master that particular craft. When doing that, also be crystal clear and specific around what the things are that you're willing to give up or sacrifice or not do. It doesn't even have to be sacrifice. It might just be not binge watching Netflix. But what are the things you're going to stop doing so that you can allocate that time to the thing to become the best at what you're wanting to be at that craft? So I think that's key. Be specific about what you're going to say no to so that you can say yes to the time allocated to perfecting your craft.
Love it. That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Remember, in chess, like in business, one right move can change everything. Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum.
If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for their next breakthrough, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations. Until next time.